Hi, Neil from Image Restore here, just looking at a very relaxed mini tutorial on patching cracks out of a photo and the ghost crack. Sounds ominous, but it's really very simple. What we do is when we're cleaning up or restoring a photograph, we'll often use the patch tool to surround a crack and patch it out to remove it. So surround with a patch and drag and drop, and then we'll move on to the next crack, and so on. This is a very quick way of removing cracks and rips from an image, but what often happens is you get ghost cracks. Now you see these pale sections here where the cracks once were. On the surface, yes, the damage is gone, but it's left a ghosting, it's left a pale shadow of where it once was. And it's these ghost cracks that you can see on many restorations around the internet. Obviously there are various tools and applications to help you restore images around the web. Some are free, some aren't, and they use similar techniques. And what we need to watch out for are these ghost cracks, because you can have a network of these across your image, and it's very unsightly when someone's face has a pale line through it where a crack once was, and the restore is supposedly complete, but in fact you can see a very clear white line through the face. Now you could go through a second time and try and patch out the ghost crack. Doesn't always work. Kind of works here. But what we need to do is make sure we get rid of them, or do it right in the first place. So another method of making sure the ghost cracks don't appear is to encompass a wider area on the crack itself. So we can see here there's a lighter area either side of the crack and some misty patches. What we want to do is make sure we encompass all of those before we patch it out. It's a big wide selection, and then patch out the crack. Of course that's not always possible if you've got ears or eyes within range or important details. So if you had a very important eye or ear, there's an ear, look, somewhere in there, and you tried to do a wide patch, it just wouldn't work, would it? You'd make a huge selection to try and encompass all the details, and you'd encompass the ear, so that's just not going to work. So there are other methods obviously to patch or remove a crack. We can use the stamp or the clone tool, and we can work over it. You've just got to watch out and make sure you do this right. Get your soft edge brush and make sure everything works. Obviously that's another method of doing it, and it's could be just as quick in some circumstances, but there's no doubt about the benefits of the patch tool when you can just surround in one and drag and drop. Very simple. Obviously if you have got those important details very nearby, you can't use that method, but all I'm saying is when you do a restore, just watch out for those ghost cracks, because they can make it look very amateurish, and what we're trying to do is come across as professional, aren't we? So we just need to watch out for these. Once again you can see that crack there, crack there, so be wary. You can burn them in if you really honestly can't use the stamp tool or the clone tool. You can always grab a mid-tone brush and try and burn them in, or whatever coloured tone you need at the time. Try and burn over them, make them disappear, or use your highlights depending on how or where your tones are and what they're displaying. You can go through and remove them with a bit of burn or dodge and burn depending on how they're showing up on screen. So if we paint over these, you can see it's disappearing slowly. But again, you can use whichever techniques, but just make sure you do, and we'll all be better for it. So I hope you've enjoyed this very short tutorial on how to keep your image looking clean and professional, and I'll see you again next time.